Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with.
What's going on, guys? This is the Totally Blitz podcast, the show about shots, smoke, and football. Today we're going to be breaking down and giving out our picks for the divisional round of the playoffs. I'm Paul Pick'em Win'em Concha, and I'm always joined by.
Hey man, this your boy Kev, no risk boy. I'm waiting on my doctor's appointment, dog, because we gotta get something figured out. I think I jammed the fuck out these motherfuckers, but like, hey man, if you injured, you injured. Because I know when I'm hurt, I ain't doing shit. I definitely ain't go to class today. Like, if you're injured, you injured, man. But speaking of injuries, my dog just jumped. They said my dog done cleared the protocols.
Which one? There's a couple people that
Come on now, you know my dog done came through. He done just jumped the fence, you feel me? My dog over there in Tennessee, Big Derrick Henry.
Oh, okay, and he cleared. He got activated. He's been practicing full contact. So like he even came out officially. I'm gonna play or some shit. I saw just before we started this episode. They had a little thing of his little quotable.
Come on now, my dog knew. Come on now, smoke one for my dog. My dog came all the way back.
I thought you were talking about the Joey Bosa clearing concussion protocol within like 4 days, like and then same with Trey Henderson, like the both star D linemen, they all got cleared from the protocol within 4 days. To me, it was just like the NFL ain't gonna let some of their best players not play.
Nah, what's it called? Come on now, first he's a Bosa, like he could have cleared that shit in 3 days if he felt like it. He probably just chilled at the house the next day, but them boys done cleared it, but those are some very key pieces on defense that all those teams need, no cap. But my dog, the King, Derrick Henry is back. He's about to open up his offense. Even though he doesn't have a great game, you still got to worry about him the entire time.
I think that's going to be one of the closer games this weekend, to be honest, too. I feel like both teams are just like kind of have that little edge to them. We actually start with that game at all. It's the first game on the block, Saturday. I actually thought all the games would be Sunday this week, and then I realized that they're broken up into Saturday and Sunday. Kind of like it.
So, the NFC, what's it called? I'm capping. So, I got the mother. Who you got in this game? Because, like, I think Brian Tannehill, he's resting. A.J. Brown, he's resting. Julio Jones, he's rested. And I don't know if rest is going to play a key factor because I don't think any of the guys have ever really played with each other too much this season healthy. So, like, having the whole band back together is going to be tough to really key in on that defense. So I'm taking the Titans on this one because, like, I love the Bengals. They're going to be lit, and I like that offense to get off against because I feel like the corners for the Titans aren't amazing. They're not bad. They're just slightly, but they're just not the greatest. So I do like that offense to figure stuff out to explode. And if it was a shootout, take it. But I feel like it's going to be a slower game. Vrabel's going to keep the team motivated. Ryan Tannehill's going to play safe, maybe low passer rating, but low mistake ratio. So I'm definitely going to take the Titans on this one. I want to see A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry ball out, kid. And that D-line for the Titans is something that you don't want to fuck with. They have like 8 players. I think the Titans have like 3 or 4 different players with that, 8 sacks this season.
There was the no-name defense that's kind of been like played really well throughout the season that you can't really name anyone on that defense, but yet they've played very well. They have the number 2 rushing defense for the year, which I think will play a part in like slowing down Joe Mixon. It's kind of funny because when you look up where these team rankings are, the Bengals have the number 5 rush defense. The Titans have the number 2. So like they both are really good at stopping the run. And then on the other side, they have bottom 8 and bottom 7. Like one was 7th to last, one was 8th to last when it comes to passing yards per game. So like they have a good run defense, not that great on the secondary side. But I don't know. I think there are some things that help the Titans here. Mike Vrabel, people likes to give him that, like, he's a hard-nosed guy. He'll smack you in the mouth. You don't give a fuck. but he also does come from the Belichick tree. So not only is he a physical guy, but like mentally, like he's playing chess almost at all times. So some people never point that out with Vrabel. Where like I think he doesn't get all the coaching credit he deserves. He's 8-0 when he has 8 days of rest or more. He's 10-0 when he against teams whenever he has more rest than the other team, which is fucking. Those are some crazy stats right there. Like, but I'm gonna die on this hill. I guess I'm gonna take the Bengals just because throughout the year, I felt like the Titans were this team that we were like they would win big games against some big teams, but you kind of knew like this team had cracks in their armor. This team wasn't like on the level of some of these other teams. So when you get to the playoffs, you're like, I don't think this is I just kind of kept that member in my head, like, yeah, it's 12-5. And similar to the Steelers last year, who were 13-0 at one point. It was like you waited all year to get to the playoffs because you knew this team wasn't as good. Like it's not as good as some of these other teams when it comes to tiers. And a lot of people are making a big deal that the Bengals D-line is hurt. I didn't know this, but apparently the guy who won't be playing, he's missed a few games throughout the year already. And BJ Hill, who's coming in this year, he's played over 500 snaps for them this year, 7 sacks, over 70 on the PFF grade. So, like, it's not like there's a big drop-off. And then I guess another D lineman's coming off of injury reserve to add depth. So I don't think this run defense is going to be as hurt as some people think they will be, especially with Trey Henderson coming back from concussion protocol. And I can see this game going into the 30s. And that's why I'm taking the Bengals, because if Derrick Henry, I think, is going to have a tough time on his first game back. And then Tannehill's going to be kind of forced to put up like the 250, 2-3 touchdowns. And I just think he's going to get a little – it's going to be like Derek Carr-esque. Like he took 50 passes to get 300 yards, even though Josh Jacobs had a good game. And then the Bengals are going to keep rolling. They're young and fun. I think a young team knocked out the Titans last year. It was the Lamar Jackson in the divisional round last year. So, like, I can see something similar happen. So, yeah, and it's plus, I think, 3.5? So, I get the field goal. So, if it is a close game also and it comes down to that field goal, I still get it. The extra half point gives me that little bump. So, but I do like them straight up here.
America, when is he going to stop hating on Derrick Henry? When? I just don't know when you're going to do it, man. You're already starting it. Already starting on the doubting the Derrick Henry. It's never worked.
Do you think he's coming back first game back from a broken foot and having a good game?
Regardless, the entire offense is about to be open.
But this ain't about. I was talking about Derrick Henry. That's what I'm saying. Individually,
and I'm saying the entire offense has to be opened up, so you're gonna have to adjust. And when you adjust, that's when you get caught slipping. So you might not have no crazy 150, 160 yard game, maybe barely 180, 90 yards. He's gonna score, but like Ryan Tannehill is not gonna be able to really just take over because Derrick Henry isn't moving slow. Even when he was gone, they still found different running backs because they done had a whole stable back there this season to hold to figure stuff out. And that O-line is coming ready to push. They're not ready to just stand there all day. They're ready to push. So they're gonna stay true to the run regardless. So that's why I think no matter what, they're gonna continue to keep the offense open and keep the defense true. And that's when the defense has to stay true. That's when they get caught slipping for a 20, 35, 40 yard run. Touchdown or not, that's still a long game.
It's still a big if. I'll see if I say this guy hasn't played football in, like since week 8 or was it week 9?
But remember, he was number 1 in everything until then.
He was, but he also was getting like 28 carries per game, which was like Jonathan Taylor wasn't even getting that yet.
Jonathan Taylor did have a lot of games where he was having high 25 plus carries. So like that was just a mission. That was just something that was working for them. And a lot of those carries came in the later games when they were down. So that's why I always never look at his carries, because if you compare him to like a Melvin Gordon or Dalvin Cook, it's a little different. But like when it comes to, because when he went down and Jonathan Taylor took over, it was like the same thing. Like we got to feed him because like we got to keep the fucking offense, the play action working, running.
Well, we'll see.
action is.
I just
Oh
don't think
my
that 30
God.
carries is gonna work on first game back.
AJ Brown. Think about AJ Brown with the play action. Oh my gosh, that shit is about. If this offense can tighten up, it might be a slower first and second quarter, but like I like if this offense can tighten up, it's gonna be a great game for them because they need that warm up because they got the AFC champion. They done been there before. AFC championship. Bengals 0-7 all time.
Yeah, but they also have been there before the year before and they got knocked out divisional round. So it's like, yeah, you've been there before, but like you can't always use that as like that's where we're gonna go.
But think about it. They didn't
the
have
Titans don't have anyone on secondary, I think, that's gonna guard Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, or Boyd. They didn't
try. They don't no tight ends have really gotten off of them this season either. But this is their first time this season where they can say they've genuinely been healthy. Like, okay, everybody's good. Like everybody's straight. But let's move on to the next game. But this game is going to be, I appreciate this game. This game is going to be the one that puts me over this week. As long as they don't keep it close. Right.
If Jamar Chase, if it's another 170-yard game, Jamar Chase style thing, it might look kind of ugly for you. Next game, I think we're both on the same page here. The Packers playing the 49ers. I don't know if you want to get cute and take the Niners points. I think it's like 5.5 or 6.
It's 6, but motherfucker, why would I take against my Super Bowl pick? They're gonna take me to the promised land. They going 4-0, so they're gonna just ride that wave, man. I told you, man, hop on that Packers. You still got a little bit of space left in case you want to.
No, I'm taking the Packers here also. David, they're getting healthy too. Jair Alexander's activated. David Bacanari, he played week 18 some snaps to get some of that rust off. And now he's gonna be full go after a rest. I know Marvelous Scantling is doubtful for this game, so it is gonna be Lazard. But Lazard's been like the second half of the season. I feel like Lazard's been like clear cut number 2. He's blocking real well. He's a big body on those like jump balls. So like his touchdowns on those little red zones, like those are like good plays.
He caught the record ball.
Yeah, like, and they're not just easy. He's like, because Devontae Adams touchdown on the one, he'll be open half the time because his fast footwork. Lazard be bodying, getting out, and then they're kind of still fighting for the ball, and he gets it. And I was like, damn, like this is a nice number 2 right here. Similar to what Gallup looked like on the Cowboys. It's like
he played like a tight end.
My one question though, because since we're both on the Packers, do you think it's going to be – because 6 is a lot of points for a playoff game, especially divisional round. Do you believe it could be close? Not close, but touchdown close.
Oh, it's the cheese heads on the line. They're telling me, How cold is going to be out there? Oh, damn. 6-0?
Ooh.
And kickoff. Oh, man, no win. So Aaron Rodgers still going to be able to throw that thing on Aaron Jones? It's going to be a running game? Oh, yeah. They're going to win by more than a touchdown because they're going to put the game away in the third instead of having to come back for a field goal in the fourth because they have lost in this game early in they barely beat them boys in week 3. All right, I appreciate y'all. I'm hollering at y'all. All right. Hey, y'all stay warm out there. No shirt wearing ass motherfuckers. All right. So I just talked to the cheeseheads. They said they finna cover.
My one fear though, is because like I teased this game down to a pick 'em because I feel like that's easy, but the one thing that scares me is that the Packers team is like 28th against tight ends. George Kittle is a premier tight end. I don't know if Shanahan's even going to attack that. But the other thing is, if it is a run game, that might favor because like I feel like you want Jimmy G to throw. He has a broken finger of some sort, broken thumb of some sorts, and like he says the interception last week was because of it. So like, and like you said, 1 degree, 2 degrees outside, that's not helping any injuries, any bone injuries. So like Elijah Mitchell's a stud. That's why I'll never take it. Like the 49ers, if it is a run game, and that to me gets a little bit scarier because like that's something the 49ers know how to do. They do that shit real well every year.
They want them that because that's when they're comfortable. They want them to be comfortable and then get to that frozen tundra and freeze.
It is freeze.
Freeze.
I just see this not being close. I'm taking the Packers here because no one could guard Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. End of the day. Let's see, next game, that wraps up the Saturday's 2 divisional games. Sunday, to wrap us out, we have the 3 o'clock game. Wow, there's no 8 o'clock game on Sunday? That's crazy. We have a 3 o'clock game between the Buccaneers and the Rams at Tampa Bay Raymond James Stadium. Tampa Bay's favored by a field goal. This is the rematch from earlier in the season.
How you feeling?
I'll go first. This one, honestly, was another one where I felt it was one of the hardest ones to pick. And at the end of the day, I just had to follow something I always follow. The Buccaneers, 2 offensive Pro Bowl, all-pro linemen are going to be banged up. That Rams defensive line, especially since it's the center, and now Worse, who was first-team all-pro, not just Pro Bowler, but all-pro first team at tackle. Like, those are 2 of your biggest, your tackle and your center are like 2 of your biggest guys. And I just see this defensive line doing something similar to what they did to Kyler. And, like, the Eagles got 4 sacks. No one talks about that. So, like, it's very vulnerable. Give me Von Miller and the boys, that defense. I should have never steered this with my NFC team early in the year. I don't know why I went against them in the very first game of the playoffs. So, like, I have to pick him now, especially, like, even if they're the underdog. I think Stafford, even though in away games are some of his worst games this year because he has a bad back, and I guess when he travels, he doesn't have all the doctors and everything around him, stuff like that. But this Buccaneers secondary is still weak. They made a great interception, but they're still weak. And that's where I see this. I think it's going to be somewhat of a shootout, like a 30-27 game in which the Rams win.
This is, if you're a betting man, this is free points right here because the Rams, they match up really, really well, and they're catching the Bucs while they're slipping. I'm shocked, man. You sure? I know how you like teams in red. You sure?
Oh, no, I'm not taking the Bucs. And as I said, this was tough because it's also just like
going against Brady?
Yeah, going against Brady.
Go.
But I also feel like a lot of people are just thinking, like, they're talking down on the Rams right now. And then talking like the Bucs are just going to the Super Bowl again. Maybe it's just because I'm here in Tampa and that's what I hear a lot. And I feel like no one's respecting the Rams like they should for this playoff, especially with the talent they have.
I don't know, man. You looking like you feeling Tampa right now. You're looking like a Tampa man. You
sounded like you like the Bucs over there.
Man, I'll take this fucking jersey off because, like, I'm psycho. I'm not taking the Bucs in this. Like, the Rams defense is something legendary. Aaron Donald, they can't, because the lineman is banged up, they gotta start double teaming. And now with your banged up lineman, they gotta go one-on-one against some of the best pass rushers in the league. So gotta take that matchup over them. Secondary, the receivers aren't, I want to say receivers. You guys have been figuring out and found ways to plug in for receivers that are gone and figure stuff out for offensive weapons that aren't really there. I didn't check the run game against the Eagles like that. But I like the Rams secondary with Chris Long and Jr. and Jalen Ramsey. I like them boys to get back there and continue and just hold it down. Mike Evans and Jalen Ramsey, they always have a great matchup. So that's going to be interesting. So, like, I got to take that defense over that offense. And then I just need Matthew Stafford to not give up no free points. I need Odell to ball. I feel like the offense, they're figuring stuff out. They got little plays, trick plays to catch Bruce Arians slipping. The Bucs just have a lot going on. And this is going to be, they're going to get sent home. Kyle's going to be in attendance again. I'm just saying. The Eagles scored all those garbage time points. I'm just saying. It's not like it was a flawless victory. I'm just saying. So Kyle is going to be in attendance again. I can't take it. And how many points do we get for this game?
It's 3.
Oh my, that's free money right there. So yeah, I got to take the Rams on this one. But it's interesting to think that the team's going to go 2-0 against Brady. And, like, he's not going to have some trick up his sleeve real quick. Because, he don't really got too many of these left.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying saying that similar to last year when the Bucs played the Packers as a rematch game, and the Packers have won the regular season kind of in like a solid win, a defensive touchdown, the easy win, kind of like how the Rams just went through the Bucks. But I just don't see the same. I think Stafford, now he got the monkey off his back. He only threw 17 passes last week, and like that boy, and you saw how smooth they look.
Cam Akers is gonna be a difference maker, even though they're just gonna keep honest because you guys that run defense has to stop the run. They have to do their job, and that's gonna be keep the receivers lanes a little more open.
Yeah, and my one scary thought would just be this is a game, if you're taking prop bets, I know I'm probably taking a few just because there's not a lot of games to bet on. Like Gronk, since like their safeties are so hurt, and you just got Eric Weddle off the street for last week, and like I think Gronk's gonna have a big game because Mike Evans is gonna. He has, I think it was like his 3 times. I think they played Jalen Ramsey 2 or 3 times in his career, and it's like 5 catches, 50 yards total. Like for even if it's 2 games, that's 20 yards a game. Like he hasn't, and no touchdowns either. And so it's just like that's what the build, the matchups. People are coming like bringing out like star versus star on each side.
I think this game just has to be y'all got to come through and win this shit. If y'all going in there saying, because the Eagles before the game was like, hey, yo, you don't get this opportunity too many times, man. We're going against Tom Brady, but you got to go in there like, yo, we're going to beat these motherfuckers. Like, and that defense is going to come lit. That defense is going to come ready. And they're on one right now after what they did to the Cardinals on Monday. Shorter week. They're ready to go. I got to take the Rams on this one.
Yeah, both on the Rams. It's easy money. Next game and the final game. Shit, this might be the best matchup in the whole AFC right here. This could have been AFC Conference Championship, and I don't think anyone would have said a word. And it's the Bills versus Chiefs.
And the AFC Conference. You're talking about the AFC Conference Championship that they're playing divisional round because the coach messed up the fucking schedule, so now the AFC Conference Championship has to be played a week earlier. Or that game you're talking about? Oh.
You get it.
That game.
Yeah, we get this would have been, I mean, they played last year in the AFC Conference Championship. Chiefs won. Pretty solid win, too. I'm taking the Bills here. Another dog. Just the way they've been rolling. This, like, I think I saw a statistic was, like, most wins by 12 or more points or 10 or more points in the season. And they had, like, 12. And so, or not 12, they had 11, and they led the league. Like all their wins are by double digits or some shit. And then every year, anytime a team has done that, they won the Super Bowl. It was just like every single time a team has accomplished that before. And it was just like, and they all had like the same amount, like 11. And I was like, yeah, this offense is rolling. Like they went to the Reds. Not only are they getting nothing but touchdowns, but like the reason why they're going for it on 4th downs, it's not like the Chargers when you're on your 50 or your 30, like back on your 40. These motherfuckers are getting up to field goal range every single drive, and they're just like, fuck it, we'll be here again. Let's run it. Like, we're feeling like, and that's just something crazy to think about. I think their defense is better than the Chiefs' defense. I think they're going to get a couple of interception or so. I think, I just see this Bills team, they're rolling, and they're on the Pat McAfee show today. Shit, if we follow the trend, like, what else? Like, now it's set in stone. Now there's nothing the Chiefs can do unless Patrick Mahomes pops up on the next episode. But there's nothing. I don't think there's nothing they can do.
Damn. Why you told me that? I was Chiefs all the way until you said that.
Josh Allen, the big man himself, was on there.
Not J.A.
Yeah. And then Poyer popped up behind him, and they're just getting hyped together. And they're just saying, like, yeah, bro, this locker room's different right now. Like, they asked Josh Allen what he wanted for Christmas, and he responded, execution. That's the man who wants to win, bro.
I expect it. That team's on one right now, and if it wasn't for the fact that you knew you wanted to pick the Bucks, I don't know why you ain't pick the Bucks, but I would have picked the Bills. I wanted to pick the Bills in this one, but I'm taking the Chiefs. Ooh. I'm taking the Chiefs because we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it interesting.
Ooh.
So like, I believe that no matter what the points is in my mind, this is a pick 'em. Just like this is the AFC Championship right here. This can go either way. Whoever goes to this game is gonna be on one. Like there's nobody that can stop the winner of this game. So it comes down to execution, like Josh Allen says. Can you go down and score? Can you go down and get down there every fucking time? Because the Chiefs, once they start rolling, they're gonna want to shoot it out with you. They're gonna shoot it out. So are you gonna have another game? I want to say no perfect game with no punch, but are you gonna be able to continue rolling, continue the execution, continue the ball, and can that defense, that secondary, because they have the safeties to play the too high, which is giving the Chiefs the most trouble this entire season. But can Andy Reid, does he have the play call? Does he have the options against that? So I think this game could have went either way. If I had watched the Pat McAfee show today, I would have changed my pick earlier to the Bills and copied me. But because I didn't see it, I'm pretend like I didn't hear that. So I'm gonna just throw that evidence because I did that for the way that we got it was, I don't believe it was by the book. So yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs on this one. I'm just seeing like, yo, man, can y'all do it? Like, I'm actually taking the Chiefs in my mind as you got the home field advantage. You're not a dog. You guys are the mighty, mighty Chiefs. Can you stay or are the Bills going to end the era? Because that's what they're in the move for. They're ending eras, and this is the team to do it. This team is rolling. They're peaking at the best time, and I got to take the Chiefs on this one. I don't want to. I'd love to take the Bills, but like, the Chiefs have to come through, and they have to come through and execute, and they can do it. I would have took the Chiefs with points, but there's no points with the Chiefs right now. Like, the Bills are going to come through, and they got to play their best game, and the Chiefs are going to come through, and they might start slow, and that might be the death of them.
Yeah, with the Bills, with the Chiefs, one thing I wanted to point out was, what did they end? They ended with like what, 12-5? They had 12 wins? Yeah, they ended 12-5. And their 5 losses are Buffalo, Tennessee, Bengals, Chargers, and the Ravens back in week 2, and everyone was healthy. Except for some, not everybody, but majority was healthy. So those are all to me are like a high, like a playoff caliber teams. And then they have a few wins over above 500 teams, like 9-10 win teams. They beat the Eagles, but that's a low caliber team to me when it comes to playoff talk. They beat the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love, which is not the Green Bay Packers. They beat the Cowboys 19-9. We all seen the Cowboys get knocked out first round. And they beat the Raiders twice, and the Chargers in overtime. So, like, to me, I feel like the Titans, Bills, like some of these other teams are a higher caliber than the teams they beat in. So that's another thing that kind of swayed me towards the Bills. I felt like the the Chiefs, they kind of had a rough going with some of these really good teams. But when they can beat the good teams and bad teams, and I just think the Bills knocked on the door last year, went to the Eastern Conference AFC Conference Championship, lost to the Chiefs, and like they were there, they knocked on it, and like this year it's like the time to get through the door because I see like they're rolling, and that's the thing that I'm like, that's shit, like they're just rolling, they're putting up points, and that's the one way to beat the Chiefs is just put up more points.
America, I'm snitching. That boy Paul, beginning of the season, he looked at the Chiefs, and he's not the Chiefs, the Bills, and he said, I don't see them doing better this season. They're only gonna digress. He's saying that this week they're gonna do the same. They're gonna do better. They're gonna do the same thing as last year. And Paul, you might be motherfucking right, but you're forgetting one thing.
Where's my forgetting? I will say that was my original point, but as the season progressed, I had to adapt and evolve.
This the playoffs, baby. It comes down to coaching too. You forget the coaching. The Bills are well coached, but don't forget, man. We have the fact that he's coming from the Andy Reid coaching tree. So like, Andy Reid might have that little up on him. And Andy Reid, we talking chocolate cake, dog. We talking chocolate cake, man. So like, when it comes down to it, chocolate cake is all we need. It's gonna come down to who wants that piece of chocolate cake more.
Yeah, I know. Like, that boy Andy Reid loves his chocolate cake, loves his cheeseburgers. When he says he wants it like the food, he doesn't know winning. But I got the Bills still. It's gonna be the best game, I think.
I respect them, man. They got nothing but love for it. But I'm trusting because one thing, besides for like earlier in the season, but when it came to like my offense is clicking, The Chiefs are the opponent's offense is clicking. I'm in Arrowhead. The opponent isn't in Arrowhead. The Chiefs have been looking like the more admirable foe. Like, if they didn't lose to the Bengals, I wouldn't have to throw in the Arrowhead part, but they lost to the Bengals.
Yeah, no, but we'll see. That's why it's the last one. I'm just surprised it's at 6:30 and not at like an 8 o'clock game.
I appreciate that because I'm going to be getting some. See, I might send this clip to my dad, so I'm not going to say what I'm going to be getting, but like, gives me time to get some homework done.
Good. But that wraps up all the games. Before we go, PFF just dropped off some of the last grades of the year, wrapping up everything. Not only is this the highest graded for this season, the player, but he's the highest graded player ever, any season, with a 98.3. Trent Williams, left tackle for the 49ers. He didn't allow like anything at all this year. Craziest thing to me, though, is because he was on Washington. He wanted to leave Washington because of the team doctor stuff that happened, and he sat a year, and like, it was just everyone was on his side. It was just he was such a great talent. Like Washington never wanted him to leave, so he sat the year. They traded a 5th and a 3rd round pick for him. Literally changed. Like that's what I don't know. A lot of people could have got him, or I don't know if no one ever called because they thought the price would have been too high. But 5th and 3rd round, he comes back this year. 49ers 98.3, highest ever, beating Aaron Rodgers' last year's MVP, which was the highest rated ever at 95.1. So a whole 3 points higher, which is fucking insane.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would have gave up Julio for him.
Yeah, man, shit. Like me being I hate when I know what the trade value when they got it because it's like as a Dolphins, that was the same year we had like 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round pick. Like we were stacked in the draft, and it's just like, why didn't you just throw out like anything? Like they were taking a 3rd and a 5th. You could have probably gone for a 2nd alone. Like that. Like I don't know. And now we have the worst line. Is like, but he's a baller.
I feel like the NFL doesn't learn from their mistakes. I feel like they just don't do the big problems again. Shit they just kind of go with the flow and they just kind of just try to hit. They really treat this is really gambling at all times. There's a lot of gambling that goes into the NFL.
Yeah, and it's also I feel like it's a lot of people they I won't say pride, but they think like, oh, my plan I have is I like, oh well, I have this young player that I have a plan for. And then like that young and like you let your pride instead of trading for definite better talent, you're just like, no, my plan's gonna work. And then like your plan blows up on you and you're just sitting there like, damn.
It's tough to balance. It's tough to balance the looking into the future while staying ahead of the pack, while staying in the moment and not always looking back on the past because everything kind of plays out, especially the media plays such a huge play. The NFL is very interesting business because there's so many aspects that kind of just get left up to chance, and there's so many things that are fact, and like they just kind of just let them go through, and that's what situations like that really make me see sometimes.
And before we go, we haven't seen any overtime games so far this postseason. Do you think there's a chance any of these games, or one game in particular, you think that might go into OT?
KC and Buffalo.
That'd be nice. That would be nice.
And then the Bengals have a chance to take it to OT. If they take it to OT, I like them to win it though. But no, I like Vrabel on OT. Vrabel knows how to we'll win this fucking game. All right, yes sir.
Yes sir. Vrabel put on some pads before they lose.
Bro, I didn't know he played. I forgot. There'd be like certain names. I'd be like, damn, I wonder where I've heard that name before. Because like we used to play against these people I'm mad at. Like Vrabel used to play for the Patriots. And he won a championship with them boys. And I was like, oh shit. He was a mean motherfucker back there. I remember that shit, bro. I swear he was a neck pad ass dude too. You know how they be having neck.
Was.
He looked like the neck pad ass dude. I want to say he played linebacker. Don't quote me. But I want to say he played something dirty.
Yeah, he was in the trenches.
Probably great pass rusher with good footwork. He just looks like one of them type of people.
The high pads.
Neck pad.
But that's a good pick. I think I would say the same game. Actually, Since you took the Bills this season, I'll say the Rams and Bucks would probably be an OT game.
We don't want that.
I don't want it, but I still could see it being an OT game. These teams are they've seen each other once, kind of familiar. Neither team wants to lose. They both got a great quarterback.
Hashtag stat that. The Bucks have never gone into OT with Kyle in the building. I'm just saying.
Stat that. Yeah, no, I don't even need to check the facts to know that one's probably true.
Hashtag stat that. The Bucks have never won or lost, but never won with Kyle and Alex in attendance. Hashtag stat that.
Stack that.
If I was in Tampa, I'm not gonna lie, I would have took that extra ticket, but I'm not gonna. I would have been like, I would have came through in some type of Rams gear, some type of blue and yellow.
Let me know. See, I would, but I've already been in a few games. So I was like, I don't need to go to another team game. I'll watch it in the comfort of my house on the big screen.
Next year, I'm gonna hit some playoff games. Probably the ones in Buffalo. Go get my cold wings up.
The
they've been
tickets.
4 out of 5 years. I didn't know that.
Now you say it. I know they made it last year and the year before. No, I don't think the year before. I think they probably made it the year before because Josh Allen's rookie year was fucking bad.
But 4 out of 5 years, man, they're doing good, and they got the prototypes in Josh Allen under a great contract, and they've been blocking for him. He don't really take too many sacks, and if he does take a sack, you're not really stressing. Like, this man's fucking tight end. So, like, they got something going on over there. I'm definitely going to see somebody get put through a table next season.
All right. Well, that wraps us up. Just to double check. I have the Bengals plus 3.5, the Packers, the Rams plus 3, and then the Bills. And then on your side, you have the Titans, the Packers, the Rams plus 3, and then the Chiefs. Seems about right.
There's no pluses on the Bills and Chiefs?
It's plus 1.5 right now. Line is 1.5. I have a feeling by the time it kicks off, it might be at 1, which is basically a pick 'em.
Okay, so hey, pick 'em, man.
Yeah, because it started at 3 and then 2.5, then 2. So it's slowly going down to the pick 'em.
Hey, dog. Hey, I'm just saying, if I go 4-0 this week, like, how are you gonna manage? Because the Packers, as long as the Packers continue to do what they do, I'm just a wrap.
We'll see, bro. This is gonna be the shift week because now we're on 2 opposite sides on the games. So someone's going 2-2 or 4-0. I don't know. Someone's going 4-0 or someone's going 2-2, and that could be the shift because like I'm 3-3, you're 4-2, so it's real close. So this, I think, and then after this week, there's not many games left to pick after that.
And look, not because the Packers gonna take me 3-0 all the way out there, but the Packers, this game was interesting. I like art, but I was keeping up with it because I've been looking at the experts. I was watching CBS. Brady Quinn and Pete Prisco both went 2-4 this week. Bums, you bums. I'm looking like you bums. Like I have genuine statistics telling me how bums you are, and you guys get to watch film
all day and all film that they want to. Like we have to find clips on YouTube and shit like that. But then they have to NFL vault basically at the palm of their hand at any time they want. But yeah, no, this is gonna be a good week. Some big games. But that wraps us up on Totally Blitz. Kev, you know what to do.
Hey man, so this is but another episode to you, man. I'm all nice. Dutchie, you feel me? It's time. If your team isn't in the playoffs this weekend, it's all good, man. Go ahead and slide by Bathurst Smoke Shop. Pick you up some nice necessities because they got everything you need. And go ahead and roll you up a good one and watch these games this weekend because we got some heaters on the way. And we're talking 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So we're not even talking normal timing. You get to stay up. You get to stay in. You get to sleep in this week and go to sleep earlier this week. Come on now. You can't beat it. But, hey, this has been another episode of the Totally Blitz podcast. And if you're watching this, I fuck with you the long way. The fish fuck with you the long way. And we going to keep it bad. Yep.
Problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not bad.